So, Karen, good to see you. Welcome back to the programme. Well, presuming this is going to go on and on, outside Hollywood, what's this going to look like when I turn on my telly in a couple of months' time?
Well, it's hard to say. Probably a lot of reality TV and a lot of things that the studios have been saving up since sometimes, well, reportedly March. They were already braced for the writers to strike earlier this year. And with the actors joining them now, and historically, from 1960 when this happened last time, the strike didn't last very long because without a script and without performers, you don't have much. But it is possible that the studio heads have girded their loins, and this may carry on. So you'll be getting a lot of repeats, and you'll be getting a lot of unscripted things. Whether they'll have actors in them, that's another question.
It's worth pointing out, I remember you appearing on the programme not so long ago talking about the effect of the COVID pandemic and lockdowns on the film and television industry and the scarcity of content because of coronavirus. This industry has only just really recovered from that, hasn't it?
Well, it hasn't even really recovered. Cinema-going audiences haven't really recovered. People have gotten used to streaming, and they don't want to leave their house. There's lots of obstacles for that. But big movies like Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer and Barbie, which had their previews early, in fact, are going to reestablish the cinema as a habit for people. So this is going to affect them hugely.
Doesn't this also, of course, represent some rather good news? If you're running a movie business in Asia or Europe, there's an opportunity here to do some deals with the streamers, isn't there?
Well, yes and no. It depends on what your level of budget is. A lot of these smaller budgeted productions will have a couple of SAG actors in them to get finance. So if you're on hiatus, a lot of productions have just gone on hiatus today, even ones that were within days of finishing. Without those leads, they have nothing. So if they're going to stop production, they may recast, and that could be a problem.
So what's the fix here? Is it simply about showering more money on the talent?
Well, it is about money, but it's also about the future of work and where your work is going and what's fair. The AMTPT, I always get that wrong, which is the Association of Producers, who is basically against the WGA and SAG-AFTRA, are saying this strike is going to affect thousands of people. Well, it's not going to affect their CEOs. Their CEOs are fine. This is about working level people, and it's a huge industry, and a lot of people's mortgages rely on it. So it's a matter of sharing the wealth and also sharing the data of what the audience measurements are.
Stories like this often, of course, as we have just featured in our film, feature the big names, the big stars. It's also worth making the point, isn't it, that it's the little people, the people doing the hot dog van on shoot, who are also absolutely floored by a strike like this.
It's a huge industry. It's a huge industry globally. I mean, there's a lot of films showing being shot in Thailand right now, which have American and British crews, well, American crews anyway. So it is really global, and it also gives a lot of people work and a lot of surrounding people work. As you said, it doesn't have to be hot dogs. It could be lots of things, but that's certainly true. So this is important, but as Fran Drescher said in her impassioned speech, that this is happening across the board to a lot of other industries, this kind of threat of technology and the threat of lack of data and lack of revenue sharing. And so I think this is an important point. As George Clooney said, it's an emphasis time. It's a time to make a decision. And I hope Hollywood does make a decision soon.
Karen Krizanovich in London, thank you very much.